It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to the Sunday night edition of the Mike Prince Show, coming to you each and every day, live on Sunday nights. Baseball weekend opens up on the college ranks. We'll run through that. Strong weekend for the Panthers on the softball side of things up in Waco. Basketball taking care of business on the home front against the Grambling State Tigers on Saturday. They'll repeat again on Monday night to take on Jackson State. Our guest tonight will feature head basketball coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. And we will also hear from Mr. Kerrick Jackson, head baseball coach at Southern University. Southern took a fall twice today, losing against Grambling State in the nightcap. We'll recap all of that and a whole lot more. I want to thank our sponsors for tonight. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, newest location in Waller, Texas. Diva Skin Conditioner, located at DIVAH.feet.com. Attorney Lee Van Richardson of Hempstead, Texas. Prairie View Athletic Club. Temple of Refuge Ministries. And of course, we want to thank you, the listener. Our dial-in line, if we have a chance to get some of your calls in on tonight, is 936-333-5256. That's if we can get you in on tonight. As I mentioned, we got a whole lot to go over. I don't even know where to begin. But let us jump right into it, why don't we? As we mentioned, it was a huge weekend in Prairie View Athletics softball. Going, I believe, 2-2. They were supposed to play Baylor. We couldn't find a tracking on it. So we'll have to follow up with that on Monday morning if we could. But they beat Western Illinois. Well, lost to Western Illinois the first day, lost to Baylor. Then they came back and won 2 against Grand Canyon, and then turned around and beat Western Illinois. And they were supposed to face off in the championship of the Baylor tournament that was held in Waco, Texas. Could not find the information, didn't get a release or anything like that. But as I mentioned, we'll follow up with that on this weekend. Before we get more into the other sports that are going on, I want to remind you that our first guest of the evening will be Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Big weekend for the men and the women on the hardwood. Give you some of these scores to roll around. On the women's side of things, the Prairie View A&M University Panthers victorious over Grambling State. Pretty good contest for the most part. Panthers edging up, as I say, trying to take care of business, as I am sitting up here trying to make sure that I get the right app up for you. That's what happens when you go live. I'm pulling up the wrong app, but we're going to pull it up right now. Women's basketball, as we mentioned, they were victorious, taking care of the Grambling State Tigers by the score of 65-58. Other scores: Alabama A&M 56, Alabama State 55. Mississippi Valley fell short to Alcorn State by the score of 63-60. Arkansas Pine Bluff was handled by Southern University by the score of 85-61. Jackson State continues to stay hot, beating Texas Southern by the score of 72-61. They now go to 12-0 as the Panthers will have their hands full on tomorrow night hosting the Lady Tigers of Jackson State. Standings right now, Jackson State on top, 12-0, followed by Southern University, who sits at 9-3. Texas Southern is at 8-3. Alabama A&M is at 8-4. Prairie View's at 6-5. And you have Alcorn State at 6-6. Alabama State 4-8. Pine Bluff 3-9. Gramblin's at 2-10, and Mississippi Valley's at 1-11. So those are your women's standings for tonight, Sunday night, February the 16th. Men's side of things, Panthers rolling, winning their 22nd or 23rd, I lost count, home victory at Billy Nick's Baby Dome. They were able to take care of Grambling by the score of 75-69. Mississippi Valley took Alcorn to overtime but fell short. The Panthers on top with a 9-2 record. 8-3 is Texas Southern. 7-5 is Grambling. Just as Jackson State and Alcorn, they're all at 7-5. And let us not forget Southern University as well as Alabama State. So it is log jam at 7.
Contact us at 832-213-8824.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show Live as we get ready to transition over. We gave you our basketball scores, the men and women at Prairie View taking care of business. And now we're going to hear one of the business conductors, head basketball coach for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. That's none other than Coach Byron Smith. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, Mike.
I'm doing good, man. You sound like your voice is a little exhausted from too much coaching, man.
It's that time of year. So I gotta get some cough drops and some of those toddies, that mom had back in the day, some lemon and honey and all that good stuff, and warm water and lemon. So I gotta get to it, man. I gotta get back on it so I can have this voice ready to roll tomorrow night.
All right. Well, the Panthers are able to take care of business, and I lost track in the first segment. Was this the 22nd or 23rd consecutive home win?
I think 22nd. I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's good.
Okay, well, either way, it's been an impressive home streak and one of the top in the nation, and I think that's going under the radar, people not understanding the body of work that you've been putting together. If you can, Coach, give us a recap of last night's performance against Grambling State.
Well, first of all, to tip my Grambling State, what a great game plan they had. So I thought those guys came in and played with purpose. They played to win, made championship plays. I just thought they were very well disciplined. Took care of the basketball. They beat out tough shot with contested shot. They rebounded the ball. They took care of the basketball. I thought they were probably as good as any team faced this year for 20 minutes. So again, I tip hat to Dante Johnson did an outstanding job with this team. And Ground's an experience too. Those guys have been together for two years or better. So they know how to play, how to win, and the secret, they made us their rival. We haven't looked at them as a rival, but they've made us, their rival. So they really get up for the game us all the time. But great contest, an entertaining game, back and forth. Obviously, we have kind of get after it and turn our defense up. And I think the zone kind of covers some problems. We're used to driving the ball to the basket. This isn't our quickness, but I think the zone kind of slows down a little bit. We didn't move the ball.
Coach, we're having a little challenge right now. You're going in and out.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, that sounds a little bit better. I'm sorry about that. Didn't mean to cut you off, but it was going in and out.
Yeah, you're good. I'm sorry. No, I'm holding a little bit different angle now. But anyway, no, I thought that their zone, as I said, gave us a lot of problems. The 2-3 zone gave us a lot of problems. But I think once we started to move the ball around and attack the zone from different areas, I think that our offense kind of opened up. We made some big plays late. We defended well late. And obviously Devontae Patterson and Gerard Andrews, as they've been most of the year, they were key for us down the stretch. And Antoine Lister, just a total team effort. And we're very fortunate to win, but excited at the same time.
Talking live right now with Coach Byron Smith. Panthers improved their record to 9-2 as they were able to ward off Grambling State Tigers. Now you'll get ready to take on Jackson State. And Mondays, and we've talked about it, Coach, are always challenging. It is a log jam with 5 teams, if I'm not mistaken, at 7-5. No need to emphasize the importance of this game to maintain the advantage. Right now, I'm calling it a game and a half, but technically a 2-game advantage point. What are going to be some of your keys to handle the Jackson State on tomorrow night?
Jackson State, obviously, they're fighting for a lot of things. We won't go into that. But they're fighting for a lot of things, obviously, to get a top 4 finish. Obviously, we beat them at their place here a few weeks ago pretty handily by 14 points. Jackson is right behind us in terms of being the second best defensive team in the conference, giving up 61.5 points. I think we're giving up 61 points. So they're a very good defensive team. They've got a lot of experience. They won 5 out of their last 6. They won 5 in a row before they lost last night at Texas Southern. So they're playing some of their best basketball of the season. It's a very important game for us. It's the next game. And as you said, the Monday game, the second half of the doubleheader, guys are a little bit fatigued. Guys are a little bit beaten up because Grambling was such a challenging contest. So we're going to have to be at our best tomorrow night. Mike, I'm hoping that we'll come out and get off to a fast start. We didn't do that last night against Grambling. They did. But hopefully we can get out, get our offense going pretty early. And get out to a better start. And I think that will help propel us in the right direction, trying to get a victory. And like you say, maintaining our lead of 1 game or better in the Southwest Athletic Conference championship race.
Now, with you guys both having some strong defenses, if you're looking at this from my vantage point as an observer, fan, reporter, I'm anticipating this to be a slow game, but I'm hearing you saying you want to get out to a fast start.
Well, normally when you kind of highlight what teams do well, the games usually go the opposite direction. So the fact that we don't give up a lot of points probably means it'll be a high scoring contest tomorrow night. But we're hopeful at the end of the night, at the end of the 40 minutes, Prairie A&M University Panthers has more points on the board than the Jackson State Tigers. Mike, this is kind of the back 7, if you will. We call it the back 9 once we started the second half of conference. A kind of a golf cliche. So we're going down the home stretch. We're chasing history. We want to repeat as champions. Make no mistake about it, that's our goal. It's been our goal. It's been our purpose from the opening of the season. We feel like we got the team that can compete for a championship. We just got to take care of our business. We got to go out and make sure our preparation is good, make sure our approach to the game is good. And we got to go out and execute the game plan for 40 minutes. And I think if we do those things, our chances are pretty good against anyone on our schedule. I think at times, once we're in our groove, Mike, and we're playing the way that we're accustomed to playing, the only one that can beat us is ourselves. And if we don't do that, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
All right. We're talking again with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie A&M University Panthers. Now, Coach, on the professional ranks, there's been a lot of fuss in the air about the Rockets, playing the small ball, if you allow me to put it that way, no one over 6'6". And I'm chuckling to myself. I said, welcome to the world of the SWAC, because you have to adjust to that sort of coaching style and gameplay. And what do you see as some of the advantages and some of the obvious disadvantage, but not having a true postman to set up and kind of orchestrate your defense and offensive attacks?
Well, I think, today's game, Mike, the big men, they're not extinct, but they're a lot more versatile. They're a lot quicker. They're a lot more agile. The advantage for us in playing with not a traditional back-to-the-basket post guy is that the lane is open. You got driving lanes, and that's our strength, getting the ball to the basket. And you got a guy sitting there calling for the basketball, clogging the lane up. It makes the lane congested. So that's one of the advantages of playing small ball, is you got more driving and kicking opportunities for three-point shots. One of the disadvantages, not having a traditional big guy that can rebound the ball, is finishing out games. You know this, Mike, as well as I do. Knocking down free throws and getting those tough rebounds, that's how you finish out games. So sometimes we're a little bit vertically challenged, if you will, and we're not able to get those tough rebounds late in games. And sometimes that can be the difference in you winning and losing. So it's pros and cons on both sides. But if we take care of our business, we're hoping that it won't come down to one or two possessions in the last few seconds. Hopefully we're up by enough points that where we can just close the game out, in a positive way. And our lack of size, won't be a detriment to us in terms of us winning that basketball game.
Well, you talk about your free throw shooting. You were 81% on Saturday night, so I guess you were true to your word on that off day on Monday. You was going to focus on free throws and three-pointers. Talk about the approach that you talked to you guys about improving their free throws.
Mike, it'd be hard for me to talk about what some of the changes we made in our free throw approach in practice. But if you ever come by the Baby Dome and watch our practice, I think that'd be a really good illustration as to how we're getting these guys' attention. When they miss free throws, there's some punishment involved. You can't really say it over the air. Like I say, your two eyes would have to be there for you to understand how we're starting to get their attention. I said at the start of the year, I started to say at the start of every year, my goal is to be up around 80% from the line. That makes you probably one of the top free throw shooting teams I know in the conference, but in some cases maybe even the country, because knocking down free throws, that's how you finish off teams. We didn't start off doing a really good job of doing it, but I think we're making a more of a concerted effort to be a better free throw shooting team. I think the last few basketball games, I think we've just done that, and we have to continue to do that as we head down and finish up this conference season and trying to bring home a championship. It's important to make free throws. The guys understand it, and they're making every effort, along with the help of the coaching staff, to be a really, really improved free throw shooting team.
Yes, sir. Strong rebound tonight. You out-rebound Grambling by the score of 38 to 22. I'm sorry. I almost gave them four more they didn't earn, Coach. And the game doesn't change. It evolves to a degree, but the basics are the same. Box out on the jumper, secure the rebound, and get it up court as fast as possible, right?
Right. I always say this, and you know as well as I do. One of the greatest rebounders to ever play the game was Dennis Rodman, and he wasn't the tallest guy, 6'8", maybe on a good day. But rebounding is not about skill; it's about will. It's about wanting to. One of the best rebounders in our conference last year was Gary Blackson. He's barely over 6'1", and he would go up and just go get rebounds. And it's all about tracking the basketball and wanting it more. Your will has to be stronger than your opponent. So we're starting to get back on the boards. Like, my goal for this team is to be as a complete of a basketball team as we can possibly have. My goal is to have the best teams that have ever been at Prairie View. I want to be very clear when I say that. I want my teams to be the best to ever grace a court at Prairie View A&M. Okay, and that's dating back to the Zelmo Beatty days. That's what I'm saying as a coach. Those are my personal goals. If we achieve that, hey, you know what? That's to be determined. By the masses who've been around that long. But those are the goals. I want to be complete in every area. I want to be very solid offensively. I want to be very, very solid in our transition game. And I want to be very, 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 very solid defensively. I want to be outstanding in all three phases of the game of basketball. And so that's what we're striving for. And that's why you see me the way that I am on the sideline. A lot of people don't understand it. So Coach Smith gets after guys a lot. Well, hey, you know what? You shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're amongst the stars. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be as complete as we possibly can be, so we can be a team that's talked about 20, 30 years from now.
Well, you know what? When you mention the Zelmo Beatties, it's great company to be mentioned in. You got close with that with the performance from last season and continue to build on that. And that'd be some great company, man. You might have your a Mount Rushmore PV version with some orders being achieved like that, man.
Well, you know what? I think if I do get on the Mount Rushmore, I think I definitely will add a bit of brightness. I like for them to mount my head, and on my stone, I wanted to read "Bright Mamba." If you can make it happen, Mike, I appreciate it.
The Bright Mamba. Okay, well. We'll start off with Coach Smith. If I can get enough wording, because they chose about a letter for that. So we say Byron Smith, the Bright Mamba. I might not have enough coins, man, to take care of that. But we'll see what we can do on that part.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, man. Coach Byron Smith and the Panthers getting ready to host the Jackson State Tigers on Monday night. Approximate tip-off time will be 7:30ish, depending on when the ladies finish up. And it should be an exciting time at the Baby Dome. Coach Smith, you know we appreciate you here at the Open Mic, and we're going to give you some closing thoughts and comments, sir, as we get ready to fade to this next segment.
Mike, again, appreciate the opportunity. You've always been very supportive and very loyal to our men's basketball program, and that won't be forgotten. Just like to continue to move in a positive direction, make Panther Nation, proud of our program. Our young men are working hard and fighting hard to be, an outstanding example on and off the court. Obviously, it's not always perfect, but we're definitely striving to be that way. And we just want to put a good product out on the floor, something that the PV Nation can be proud of. And like I say, 10, 12, 15, 20 years from now, these teams that we had over the past couple of years can still be talked about and gone but never forgotten.
Well, Coach, with that being said, as always, poetic justice, we thank you, man. Go out there and get it done on Monday night, and we'll talk again on next week. Is that all right?
Sounds good, Mike. Appreciate you again. Thanks so much.
All right, Coach Byron Smith and the Prairie A&M University Panthers getting ready for a little Monday night action. We're going to pause, take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Are you one of the many Americans that deal with the effects of diabetes? Diva Skin Conditioner.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Could be the remedy that you need. Diva Skin Conditioner is a formulation that was designed with you in mind. Diva Skin Conditioner comes with a money-back guarantee. That's how confident they are in their product. For more information, visit divafeet.com. That's D-I-V-A-H, feet.com. Or you can speak with a representative by dialing 903-270-0026. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show Live. Mike Prince here with you. We come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at The Mike Prince Show. Our YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. I need you to subscribe to that today. Help us. Our goal is to try to get 1,000 subscribers. That way we can go live at any location at any time. Need your help on that. Go to the YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network. Coach Byron Smith, our guest in the first segment. Scheduled is Coach Kerrick Jackson from Southern University. They lost the nightcap to Grambling on tonight by the score of 5-2, I believe that final was. PV baseball not off to the best start over the weekend down at the Big Easy at the Andre Dawson Classic, also known as the MLB baseball tournament. Panthers opened up against Alabama State, lost by the score of 12-0. They were run ruled in that game. Then came up short against Alcorn by the score of 11-5. And they battled against Pine Bluff, lost in 10, 7-6. And this evening in the nightcap, or their evening game, lost by the score of 10-2 to the University of New Orleans. So the Panthers will come back to Texas. They'll get ready to take on Texas A&M on February the 19th at College Station. And on the Baseball Eve show, we were saying with the projections, we were hoping for the 2-2, 1-3 would be okay. 0-4 might be something cause for concern. I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet, but when you lose the 4 and 3 of these opponents or your conference foes, now none of these will count toward the conference record, but it makes you wonder if it's just a little hiccup right now and they'll smooth things out as they get along the way. As we mentioned, they'll take on A&M at College Station on Wednesday night. And they'll have the home season opener against Texas College. There'll be a doubleheader that following Tuesday. I want to say that date will be somewhere around the neighborhood of 23rd. But we'll keep you posted on that and get a feel for things as they unfold. Right now, the Panthers 0-4. Lady Panthers on the softball side of things are 3-6. As we mentioned earlier, did not get a scoring update where they were scheduled according to the schedule and the following through the website to play Baylor in the championship game of the tournament that Baylor was hosting this weekend, but we could not find any information. So we'll try to dig a little deeper after tonight's show and have that on our Monday episode. But as this basketball thing begins to unwind, Panthers on the female side of things at 6-5, and we know that it's a tall order to take on Jackson State. Jackson State is the hottest thing in basketball, not just SWAC basketball, but basketball. They are standing on a 12-0 record. Very, very impressive. And you gotta, as they say, respect the authority that they'll be bringing in. But Monday nights are weird games, and anything can happen. And for the sake of the Panthers, you're hoping that anything can formalize itself on Monday night as the Panthers look to improve their record to 7-5. Right now, the goal for Coach Pugh and company is to try and secure the number 4 spot. If they can do that, that means they'll have a home game in the first round of the playoffs. We got a lot more basketball to come about. We got a lot more baseball and softball to talk about. The weekend just opened up, and we still got a little bit more to come. We're going to take a break and get ready to hear from Southern University's head baseball coach, Kerrick Jackson. You are listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network live Mike Prince show here, and we're going to take us a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of tonight's show.
Be the one with courage to fight child abuse.
All Texans must find the courage to fight child abuse.
Learn the signs and symptoms and report suspected abuse to appropriate authorities.
Learn and know these warning signs.
A child who undergoes changes in behavior, appetite, or routine.
Watch for unexplained injuries, a change in academic performance, or loss of interest by a child in regular activities.
Trust your instincts. If you suspect something, do something.
If you believe a child is in an abusive situation, please call the Texas Abuse Hotline at 1-800-252-5400.
Be the one with courage. To find your local Children's Advocacy Center, visit onewithcourage.org.
On behalf of children, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One voice. It can get the point across, but it only carries so far. Add a voice. It's richer, louder, but that has limits too. Add a third voice. It's even more powerful. Add another, and another, and many, many more, and we are stronger than ever. That's the power of a community coalition. They help community groups, faith groups, civic organizations, PTAs, employers, and many others in your community organize their resources and focus them where they're needed most, like fighting to keep kids away from drugs. Ask a group that you belong to if they should belong to a community coalition. It's easy to get involved. Visit helpyourcommunity.org and they'll tell you exactly how your group can help. That's helpyourcommunity.org, because you get more when we get together. Brought to you by the Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is Lonzo Hardy Jr., President of the SWAC Alumni Association. The SWAC Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999 at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who have played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and Roast Banquet or Luncheon, where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Crossett Wagon Master Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at SWAC universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the SWAC Alumni Association or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to SWAC Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is SWACalumniassociation@yahoo.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show live here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Sometimes when you go live, it does not always work out the way you plan or desire. Having trouble catching up with Coach Kerrick Jackson right now, as the Southern Jags fell short tonight in the nightcap against the Grambling State Tigers. We'll give you some of those scores and highlights. And if we can catch Coach, we'll catch him. If not, we'll go ahead and try to reschedule at a later time. But as we mentioned, some of today's action saw at the Andre Dawson Classic in particular, there were games all across the country, but we'll focus on some of those games and then get what we can. The Andre Dawson Classic saw Alcorn State victorious over Alcorn victorious over Alabama Pine Bluff. Man, I'm all over the place. 13-7. Bethune-Cookman was victorious over Mississippi Valley by the score of 16-1. Grambling, as we mentioned, victorious over Southern in the nightcap, 7-5 was that final score. Other scores, as indicated, Prairie View lost to New Orleans by the score of 10-2. And you had, Alabama State, Alcorn, Pine Bluff, we got that one. Mississippi Valley, Bethune-Cookman, we got that one. Texas Southern and New Mexico State. New Mexico State was victorious over Texas Southern by the score of 15-8. And you had Southern Illinois taking on Jackson State, and Southern Illinois was victorious over Jackson by the score of 7-2. And in the earlier game, took 10 innings for Alabama State to be victorious over Southern University by the score of 5-2. Now, coming into the tournament on this weekend, your top 4 teams, according to the SIDs and the coaches, you had Alabama State with 77 votes, followed by Southern University with 75 votes. Then you had Jackson State had 70 and Grambling with 68. Those were considered your top 4 teams. The 2 teams that were at the bottom were Prairie View with 28 and Pine Bluff with 22. And from the looks of the first weekend, there might be a little legs to that, but it's still so much more baseball to be played. And that is the factor that we got to remember. You can't hit the panic button just yet. On the 19th, the Panthers would take on Alabama, or Texas A&M, I should say. That game is going to be a tall order. But then they'll start lining out some things, get some home cooking, open up against Texas College. We'll keep a finger on the pulse to see how things develop and go for that. And speaking of keeping a finger on the pulse, the 17th, which is Monday, Prairie View are supposed to be announcing the search firm that will be leading the search committee for the new athletic director to be named in the near future for Prairie View A&M University. Now, there are a lot of speculations going on, a lot of conspiracy thoughts, if you allow me to put it that way. I'm not going to buy nor sell any conspiracy thoughts. I'm going to be very optimistic, open about the process, and trust that the people in position are doing the right things. And that's what I have right now. That's what I can hold fast to right now. And long as we got that going in, then we're going to be all right. We'll be able to try to take your calls right now if you're up and listening and want to come and chime in with us. 936-333-5256. You can call in and share some of your thoughts, questions, or concerns that you may have with any of the topics that we've gone over today. Or you might have a topic you want to bring up on your own. We still got football talk coming in. There were a lot of recruits to be mentioned with the likes of Grambling. We heard from Mississippi Valley. We heard the Southland report with Robbie Robb. We even got a good interview coming up with Rob Butler in the very near future. So we got a whole bunch that we can cover. That number 936-333-5256. You call on in and we'll talk about it. If it's something that you want to talk about or something that we've already discussed, that is strictly up to you. We're going to take us another quick break. We're going to try to catch up with Coach Kerrick Jackson, as they say, one more again, and see how all that works out. And if not, we'll continue on with the rest of the show. You listen to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it right where you got it. And I promise you, when the dust settles and the creek don't rise, we'll be right back.
Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast is being made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Are you one of the many Americans that deal with the effects of diabetes? Diva Skin Conditioner could be the remedy that you need. Diva Skin Conditioner is a formulation that was designed with you in mind. Diva Skin Conditioner comes with a money-back guarantee. That's how confident they are in their product. For more information, visit divafeet.com. That's D-I-V-A-H, feet.com. Or you can speak with a representative by dialing 903-270-0026.
I present to you 3 of the fiercest subjects ever assembled in the cage of doom. First, the brain-wrenching behemoth, Algebra 2, weighing in at a mind-boggling 800 pounds. Foreign languages! The multilingual international sensation capable of tossing you clear across the Atlantic. And finally, biology. More ferocious than formaldehyde, she'll dissect you 1 chromosome at a time. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. I'm in. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. Find out which classes you need at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show Live. Having trouble getting our next guest, head baseball coach Kerrick Jackson. I'm assuming that they're on the road right now, and we can't get a hold to them, but we gave it the old Scouts try to get that thing on. But with that being said, baseball season up and off the ground. Panthers a little slow out the gate, but I'm going to keep fighting for their PV victory. They open up against Texas College on next week, but they have to take care of the Aggies from the SEC this Wednesday up at College Station. So we'll keep, as they say, keep a close eye on things of that nature. And speaking of a close eye on things, with baseball camps opening up around the majors, we know the hotbed topic is the Houston Astros and the scandal or the cloud that hangs above them. And some trying to downplay it, some going to the extreme, some say they hadn't gone extreme enough. Don't know where you stand on that particular topic, but people trying to say it was no big deal. Sign stealing has been a part of baseball forever, and you are absolutely right about that. But guess what? It's not to the point to where you got so elaborate with alleged buzzers and flashings and trash cans and all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of people are really salty, and they're saying that the Astros should have an asterisk by their name in the history books, you know, and just for a scandalous win. The Dodgers are obviously upset. The Yankees are upset. And everyone who has played against the Astros, and believe it or not, they're giving Fire, the whistleblower, a lot of flack behind him, quote unquote, being a snitch. Does it really matter if the guy tells what was going on when you know it was obviously wrong. I understand the game that keep your mouth closed, don't say nothing, don't volunteer information. I understand all of that. But how you going to get upset with this guy for simply sharing what he shared? They said, well, you shouldn't have done it. Maybe he was giving his team a tip. Well, hey, when we play the Astros, you got to look out for this, because I know in the past they had a very clever system of stealing and tipping your pitches. Maybe he was doing it in that manner. I don't know. Don't really care, being a St. Louis Cardinal fan, but it's something that I think is going to allow Cora to be banned for life. That's just my observation. And I'm basing that on how they handled Pete Rose. If you're going to ban Pete Rose for life for betting on himself, you sure enough got to ban Cora for cheating and advancing the system, if you would. And then I hear people talking about, well, you still got to hit the pitch even though you know what's coming and this, that, and the other. But and I say this. I got a better chance of making some solid contact if I know to look fastball or off speed. The art and the challenge of pitching is to throw the batter's timing off. And if you cannot throw that batter's timing off and they know what's coming, you might as well set it up on a tee and let them do it. And I could plead the same case for Barry Bonds. They say, well, you know, he was juiced up. Look at his head got big. Okay, all that is fine and dandy. Whether he's juiced up or not, he still had to have the hand-eye coordination to hit the ball. And he was hitting the ball 450 feet. And if he was, quote-unquote, juicing, instead of going 450 feet, now it goes 350 feet. He still was a hell of a ball player. He still was doing his thing before the alleged steroids and well during and after. So the point is, everybody's trying to get that competitor's edge. But where do you draw the line? When is enough enough? And if we're going to have the integrity police of the MLB, you want to hold out Clemens, you want to hold out Bonds, you want to hold out Rose. What you going to do about the Astros? What you going to do about the Red Sox? What are you going to do to restore the integrity of the game? That's all I'm asking. As I mentioned, it makes me never mind which way they decide to go with this. Strictly up to them. But wouldn't you agree that something should be done? You're not going to the players. You gave the players an immunity for coming forward. So what else do you have? What else can you do other than throw up an asterisk? Put I don't want to say a co-champion, and they tried to chronicle, that when they won the games and this, that, and the other. But an advantage is an advantage. It goes back to why Mike Prince, feel like that Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback of all time. He will be the best of our time, but not the greatest of all time. The rules were different. Rules were adjusted for his sake. And let the truth be told, he got away with more controversial calls than anybody. I've been on record for saying this before. I got at least 10, 12 other quarterbacks that I would prefer to have with 2 minutes left in the game and needing to win. But I'm not going to talk about football. Why? Because it's baseball season. It is baseball season. And we're going to give you baseball scores from all over the conference, all over the country, on high school, JUCO, and, of course, NCAA. It's the most wonderful time of year. The Waller Bulldogs will have their final home game on Tuesday against Rudder. The Bulldogs have already qualified for a playoff berth, and that location is to be determined. We'll hear from Coach Earl Claiborne about that. And we plan to be there to broadcast that game. But we will be there on Tuesday night. That tip-off begins at 6:30. And you can listen live on what we're calling our low-tech app. And this is a simple phone number, 857-777-0000. You can dial that number, listen to the game live. And if you happen to miss that game, you can always go to the website at obnradio.com and look at OBN Game Day Archives and pick that game up, and you'll never miss a beat of what's going on in our broadcast coverage. We come to you each and every day, Monday through Sunday. Mike Prince, yours truly, Mondays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We have Miss Sonja Stamps with She Say Sports, roughly about 10:30 on Fridays. Then we have Carlos Brown, who will be coming to you on Saturdays from 10 to 12 Central Standard Time. We got BJ Jones. He changed from the Sports Lounge to he's going to be the Barbershop. I like that. And he'll be coming on Sunday evenings, I believe it's 7:30. So we got a lot that we're opening up here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and want you guys to be a part of it. The only way you can be a part of it, you got to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at The Mike Prince Show. We're tweeting scores, highlights, information throughout the course of the day. And speaking of sharing information, we want to thank our latest partner in the community, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, located at 2038 Mills Road in Waller, Texas. They have 13 other locations to better serve you: Katy, Rosenberg, Brenham, Bryan, College Station, and of course, as we mentioned, the Waller location. So it's always, as they say, something to sink your teeth into around here. Baseball action, as we mentioned, got started over the weekend. The Panthers stumbling out the gate, but the race is long. And the race is going to count. And we're going to be there to help count the ways. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. And speaking of counting the ways, due to our guest not being able to be reached on tonight, Coach Kerrick Jackson of the Southern Jaguars, we are going to exit stage left on tonight. And with that being said, as we make our way out of here, we want to remind you guys that we truly, truly appreciate you, the listener, for all your support. Check us out on Monday morning. We'll try to have an update naming the new search leading firm for the new athletic director for Prairie View A&M University. We'll try to recap the softball score on how it turned out against Baylor, and a whole lot of other information that will happen in the midnight hour. I want to thank our sponsors, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Diva Skin Conditioner. Also want to thank the Temple of Refuge Ministries, Attorney Lee Van Richardson, and you, the listener. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much for joining us on tonight. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.